Hello guys, welcome to our yet another Revit tutorial. I would like to encourage you to like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to be able to motivate me to record more tutorials about BIM. So in today's session, we're going to look at how to add grids and levels to our drawing area and in our modeling process. So when you open up a project template, it looks like this. So the first step we shall do is to come up with the grid lines. So the grid lines are found on the architecture tab. On the data palette, this is where we find our grid. So we can tap on our grid. Then we can use the modify tools to create more grids by copying or enabling multiple on the options bar. So before you come up with your plan, you should have come up with your option where you'd want your grids to appear. So that will be our first grid. So when you turn on this section, when you select your grid and turn on here, the bubble will appear on both sides. When you turn it off, the bubble will appear on one side. So these grids have handles, and you can use these handles to change the directions to numerous places to be able to fit in your drawing area. So the first step, so when you select the grid, so the next you can do the next grid, you come back to the architecture tab, grid. Then select the point, so you can hover, it shows you the distance. So here it is, you could type in the distance, set to 4 meters, enter, so it has already spaced it. So you come here, you draw a second grid. So you can measure by reference to be able to see if the 4 meters are there. Yeah, the 4 meters are, that's what you had wanted. So you can use the copy tool to populate the grids into your model, enabling copy multiple. Take the reference from here, you type in 3 meters, enter. You can type in 5, enter. So these copy tools will help you to save time by being able to populate your grids around the model. So we're done with drawing the vertical grids. So we can now draw the horizontal grids. So come back to our grid point, draw the first grid. Yeah. So after drawing our first horizontal grid, we can right click in the grid head to be able to edit the name. So we can now change the name to A. So now when we create more grids in the upper direction using the copy tool, their names will have changed. So you put it at 2.5 meters, and you put it at 3 meters, and you can again put it at 2 meters, 2.5 meters, and so now we've been able to draw our horizontal grids. So you name your grids according to your country or region. You can modify grids using the move option. You could still move this grid from here. You could move it, say, to this position. So for the grids to be visible, they should be perpendicular to the viewpoint, or they won't show in the elevations. So these are the viewpoints, so they should be perpendicular for them to be able to show in the elevations. So when you come back here and you select grid, so grid has drawing options. So you could select the start end radius. So you click here, then you click here. So in this you're able to create a curvilinear grid. So you could again use the copy option to be able to copy it to other places. In case you're drawing circular structures, so you could also use the other options of the grid drawing to be able to create numerous grids. This was the center radius, the peak lines, so you could again come up with other reference lines, for example the model line. So you come up with, say, your model line, you draw it here. Then now want to change this created model line to what? To a grid. So when you come to grid and you choose peak line and pick this line, now it becomes a grid. So even the grid tool optimizes the drawing tools on the contextual tab area. So next we shall go to creating levels, and to create levels we need to be in elevations. So the shortcut for creating levels is LL, or the level here is here. So when you open your template, you'll have the default levels. This one. So when you double click on the level head, straight double click on the level. Should be opening to where it should be showing. Okay. Yeah, so now these are our grids which have been showing in the levels because they have been perpendicular to those level heads. So to add levels, we should be in an elevation. So if you clicked on this elevation, you could be able to copy it to other levels. So when you open your project, it will have a default template. In this case, I'm using construction template. It comes with the default levels, but in our case, we would like to come up with our own levels. So what we shall do is to first delete these. We select these. We delete these elevations and we will insert our new desired elevations. So when you come to the view tab, elevations, so you can be able to create an elevation. So this will be our first elevation, we could put it here. Second, we could put it here. And third, we could put it here. Then fourth could be here. So after that, when you come to our project browser and you tap on elevations, yeah, these are our new elevations you said. So select the first elevation and able to rotate it for it to be able to check in the desired direction. Take it through 180 degrees. So yes, so now it is where we need it to be. And next we have to also rotate this elevation to be able to face in the north direction we want it to face. So we shall try the first step here. Yes, it's where we desire it to be facing. And next can also rotate this elevation. So now our elevations have been set. So again, let's double click on the elevations to be able to open them and see. So when you double click on the elevation, you could be able to enable these checkpoints so it could be able to view in numerous elevations. But here I don't want it to see. We don't want it to check the desired direction. So I want to select it to be able to open. I think let's come back to the project browser and we select our first. So this is our first elevation. So now after deleting the old elevations, we now get the new elevations for our project, which we will be able to edit. Be able to come up with our desired elevations. So when we come back here, I want to double click it. Yes, so when you click on the entry, it takes you to the level. So this is our level 41A, so it's here. So that level 41A, when you come back to our project, it's in the west level. So we come here and select it and try to rename it. So shall rename it west. Then the next two shall come back to this level. We double click on the head and it takes us to elevation 2A1. So elevation 2A1 is here. In this case, it's the north elevation. So we shall rename it to be north. Then we shall come back to our level 1 to be able to rename the second. So this is the east level. Double click here, it will open. It is 3A, so it is here. So this is the east elevation. We shall rename it. So the remaining elevation automatically becomes the south elevation. So we can again rename it to be south. So when you come back here and let's select the head of the south elevation, so it takes us. Yeah, so it's automatically south. So now we are in, all our levels are opened. So this is the west, north, east, and south. Then we close and work with one, which is open here. This is the active one. So in our south elevation, we have our levels. So you can rename the levels selected. So let me say you want to make, let's first delete some levels. But first select this two on top. Able to delete them. So selecting on the level, you can change the roof to, you could change the name to, from roof to like rooftop by typing it into. So again, you could able to lock this level, or unlock it, or lock it. So it still has these adjustment points. So if you click here, it could be able to adjust it to another direction to create space if your levels are close to each other. There's this bubble head. So when you move the location of the head of the bubble, it will move along when it's locked. But when you unlock it and move the bubble head, it moves alone. That is why it's the importance of locking or unlocking. So you could change the heights of the levels. Here it is at 6 meters. We could put 7 meters. So the 7 meters is the depth from the datum, so from this level 0. So if you use your measure reference and check between this, it has to be 4 meters. So here, let's see, yeah. Level, yeah, it's close to the 4 meters. I think I didn't reference too well. So still you can use temporary dimensions to change the heights of these levels. So temporary dimension is here. So we want to change this level to 4, the height to 4 meters. And yes, so now it has changed. Yeah, so now that's at the 4 meters which we are desired for. So we can come here and delete all these levels. So when you come to architecture tab, level in an elevation, you're able to draw your first level. So drawing your first level, you could change the names, double click here, you call it basement. So after forming these levels, you could be able to use the copy tool to populate the levels into the project. So you come, you select it. So you can use this drag tool here to reduce on the size of the level. So if you check this box, the level head with bubble will again appear. When you select the level, you come to the copy, enable copy. So copy multiple, so from here to here. I want to copy it by 4 meters. Press enter. Next I want to copy it by 3 meters, enter. And the next step, I want to copy it, say again by 3 meters, enter. 3 meters, enter. 3 meters, enter. So yes, so these are our new created levels using the copy command. So you just realize that all the levels which you created by copying onto this original has a blue bubble head and the other still white. So when you come to your project browser and you look at the floor plans, you only the basement is the one which is active. It means the project browser has not yet been able to interpret these other levels. So we have to enable the project browser to be able to enable these levels. So I think first click here on this level. I want to change this to -7 meters. So this, yeah. So after for us to be able to view these other labels into our project browser, we will need to go to the View tab, Plan Views, then Floor Plan, then you select all these other levels which are not viewed. Shift select them, then we create them as our floor plans. So yeah, so now in our floor plans, our levels can now be checked. If you go back to our elevations, you can be able to change the level heads, the level names. You could call this. Call it the ground level. and so on and so forth. So that is how we work with levels in our elevation. So if we go to another elevation, say north or south, south is what we are on, so we go to west. So after we could select all these levels, could select them, can shift select them, and we can choose copy to clipboard, and go to north elevation, and then we go to paste from clipboard, paste aligned same places. So the next step we shall do with the levels is to modify their views on the project. So when you open a level, say level 12, so we're now in level 12, so we come to, on its properties palette, we come to view range. Yes, the view range is here, and click on edit. So we can be able to be able to edit our view range of the levels. So if you were to put the top, so we could associate with level 12, the bottom we can associate with the basement, but the view depth we can make it to be unlimited. So the view depth indicates how far below the project you can see. So if you use unlimited, you will not need to worry about the reference or associated level on your view range. And the view range is used on floor plans and ceiling plans. The height of the cut plane, which is this, cannot be lower than the bottom. So if it's, as you've seen, the cut plane cannot be below the basement. So if our basement has been the lower plane, the lower bottom, the cut plane has to be within above it. And the top offset should be more than the cut plane. So apply, okay. So if we go to our view tab, plan views, and in the plan region, we can use the view range on other plans. So we can create a region using the rectangular drawing tool. Then we can change some controls of the created region. Then we can modify the view range of this created region on the properties palette. So we first create it. After creating it, we can select it. Then we can edit the view range. So this. So yes, so we can come here. So this is how our view range could be edited. So the cut plane, you see it's in the middle, top and bottom. So it confines, we press OK. So while selecting the created boundary, we could hide it using the temporary hide, and we choose hide element. So in that case, we've been able to hide our boundary. So if we are to reveal it, we have to switch on the light bulb. It will be able to reveal the hidden elements in our project. So in the next phase, we will be able to look into how to model using the Revit structure component and to come up with an analytical structure model. For now, it's bye.